Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Vampire Queen series. There are more episodes on my channel and other series as well, and if you'd like access to adult content or you just want to help support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon down below. Please leave a comment, I love hearing from you, and as always, I hope you enjoy. Good evening, pet. Have you slept? Good. I always ask how you've slept because I worry that you haven't. You are my darling creature, but you are still human after all. And spending time with me and keeping up appearances in town is not exactly a schedule conducive to rest. And don't bring it up. You know what? I can see it on your face. You're human, and you will remain that way. So don't spoil my good mood. But I am glad that you've been exploring the house. I've heard the pitter-patter of your little footsteps scurrying all over the place. I do like it here, yes. I like this room in particular. What? You never dreamt of having a library to call your own? One so full that it required a ladder to reach the top shelves? Well, we had different dreams, but that's all right. Well, the castle was cold, full of draughts, and under a sky that constantly rained. I didn't mind the temperatures or the weather, but my books are a little more sensitive. It was better to keep them here. Some of these aren't so easily replaced, pet. Some of these are as old as I am. And you should know by now I'm very particular about how my most precious possessions are treated. That one you're holding is probably one of the oldest texts in this room. Don't worry, I'm not upset with you. It's very beautiful, I can see why you were drawn to it. For precisely the same reasons that I was. I can go on about being an intellectual all I like, but at the end of the day, gold is pretty and rubies look so nice in the lamplight. You were reading it when I came in. I sound surprised, pet, because, not to dismiss your talents, but that book is written in Italian from the 8th century. There are probably only 3 people in this country currently alive who could read that without any sort of reference material. So why lie to me? Pet? Pet, can you not read? Don't go skittering away from me, we're long past that. And I thought you were long past being embarrassed around me. About anything. You're going to have to talk at some point. No, I don't suppose you did have much opportunity to learn in your life before. You have come so far that I often forget how far you still have to go. And I'm sorry for that, pet. For forgetting. I take things like reading for granted. I forget that it isn't as natural as breathing, that it must be learned. It's not that I am any smarter, it's that I have had centuries to fill. And things like reading, learning. They fill up time very well indeed. I could teach you to read, if you wanted to, that is. I could read to you. Yes, I happily will. But perhaps you would like to read to yourself. There are books with information, there are books with stories, and so often those things are interchangeable. Yes, pet, I would delight in it. And I admire your ambition, but perhaps we should start with something in English, yes? Oh, all over the place. Usually, whenever I was passing through somewhere and I might stumble across a book that simply had to be mine, and over the years I learned which were the sorts of books I'd never see again. Or I'd be gifted them, or they'd be found in a new property I bought. Quite the mishmash of circumstances, but it's led to a collection that is entirely unique. Yes, I do like to collect pretty things, don't I? And you're the jewel of my collection. You know that, don't you? Well, sometimes it's good to remind you. I'd burn all of this for you. No question, no hesitation. So do you really think that I would mind giving you some reading lessons? I do like spending time with you, believe it or not. It's one of my favourite things. Pet, you look positively queasy. Why so little faith in yourself all of a sudden? You have gone back to that pitiful excuse of a village and lied to everyone point blank and walked away again with your head held high. You knocked on my castle door, thinking you'd been offered up as a dinner, as a sacrifice. Your chin might have wobbled then, but it was still held high. You're going to let learning something new shake you to the core. No, I didn't think so. Was that someone knocking on our door? That's the only drawback to civilization. People want to socialize. I've spent far too long away from civilization. And now I remember why. It does have its drawbacks. It's late, though. Humans don't knock this late. No, the servants will answer it, but we can have a little peek to see who is so desperate to see you and your mistress. And, Pet, I think that our first lesson is going to have to be postponed. You wouldn't believe who's come for a visit. Come to the window and look. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is our church-going friend, dressed in his robes like it's perfectly ordinary to call on the newcomers of town at this sort of hour. No, we're most certainly letting him in. I'm curious. When humans knock on my door willingly, Pet, interesting things tend to follow. So this should be interesting indeed.